transport station everywhere can use cash. Oh, you must a lot of the pay a lot of when you pay a lot of I had to a long time of cash. So when the now when you go over there, only mobile phone for pay. Where use the mobile phone for pay anything. Can you hear me?
Of course, I'm listening to you. Well, okay. Yes, in the past, the
Hello,
method.
hello,
Hello, I'm here. I
hello,
can hear
hello.
you. I can hear
Can
you very
you
well.
hear me?
Yes, yes, I can. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so now is when you go out home
I think there is
for
something wrong
and
with your connection. I think
pub-
there is something wrong with your connection. Could you please check it? It's like, I can't hear you very well.
on the mobile phone for pay. You use the mobile phone uh,
Could you please check your
mobile phone.
connection? Jackson, can you
Yeah.
hear me? If you can hear me, could you please check your connection because it's completely breaking up and I can't hear you very well. So could you please check your connection?
Yeah. I can hear your voice.
Okay, now I can hear you. Now I can hear you. Well, keep going. I'm listening. Just there is something wrong actually with Teams, I think,
I,
now because I can't hear you. It's like breaking up. Of course. I agree with you. In the past, people used to use physical money or cash to make purchase. So, in the past, so we have nothing to do with. Let me raise, okay, the bird and close them. Okay, so people used to use cash or physical money to make
physical.
purchase, to buy something. To make purchase means to buy. But nowadays, but nowadays,
Only
they
smartphone.
rely on just phones, or for example credit cards, debit cards, okay? Or of course just one tag and that's it, you easily pay.
For example, I use only the mobile phone for the Visa. I pay anywhere.
Yeah, of course it's really easy, of course. Well, yeah,
I think in your country the same yours the same too. The same me.
of course, yes. Normally phone, so it's like we use normally phone, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
No money phone.
Phone, of course. So yeah, of course we pay. Yeah, but
Yeah.
phone, of course. So yes, you can easily just tap and pay. So that is really easy. Well, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And now when you go in the public transportation and you tap and go,
of course,
tap and pay, tap and
definitely,
go. Yeah,
definitely.
when you go metro,
Yeah, of course, definitely.
when you go metro and the bus and you go and taxi public transport station,
Yeah, of course.
can you tap go?
Yeah,
You know?
of course, of course.
Yeah, you
Actually,
use the tap
this method is
and then
more
you go.
convenient.
Only
Oh, there is some.
one passenger, one second, very fast.
Can you hear me? Like, I don't know, there is something wrong with Teams now. I don't know what is it, but it's so breaking. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, now
Okay, so,
it's okay. Now it's
well, okay, so,
okay.
yeah. Well, as I told you, now let's talk about what you actually. Oh, I don't know what it is. There is something wrong with this Teams. I don't know what it is, but it's not really good. Well, so first,
You
okay.
had a problem on the
Can
team.
you hear me? Because you know what's.
I hear your voice. I, I hear your voice like very clearly.
Okay, so
Sometimes
yeah, of course. Okay. Well,
not clearly.
well, it's not clear. So I asked you, so because of this I asked you to check the connection. I think that there is something wrong with the connection maybe. But it's like breaking up. I can't hear you very well, but it's okay. Well, first let's talk about cashless day and cashless. What is it? First, let's see if it's common. Actually, you know that it's not something that we use in everyday conversation, but of course, it's something that. Oh, what happened? Okay, but it's something that, for example, when talking about just news, or for example, yeah,
Yeah.
of course, yeah, you say.
I make yeah I make a cashless day event 10 years ago.
Yeah, of course.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, when I make the event, so I everybody use to the
Yeah, of course.
know the cash.
Of course. Well, actually, so
But and now,
yeah.
but now everybody use the cashless day.
No, no. Okay, cashless day is a day when people actually are encouraged not to use physical cash. Like, for
Yeah,
example, of course,
physical cash. Yeah,
and
I yeah
instead use digital payments.
physical.
For example,
Yeah. It's me.
of course,
Physical.
mobile wallet,
I don't want to use the physical card.
of course, credit card,
I don't want to use the physical card,
yeah, of course. But
credit
I
card
have a
and digital
question.
card. Now it's a digital
Yeah,
card.
I have a question for you. Yes, using digital payments is perfect, but tell me about. I want to know I want to know the negative sides or disadvantages of using digital payments instead of cash. So, what do you think?
Negative. Yeah, you, I think the best and the good point. The best point. So when you use the digital payment, when you use the digital payment, you control the you have to control the power. You have to control anything, and then you have a control uh, the bank. In the Vietnam have a lot of uh, the prop for the a lot of people lot too much money because they don't know because another people know your password and they control mobile phone and
Of
you know the
course.
password
So, the first
and you
problem, of
uh,
course,
they get
the
a lot
risk
of money
of
your,
cybercrime.
your
Yeah,
you know. Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I'm trying, but it's not really
Yeah.
clear. Okay, let me call you.
Yeah.
Please let me call you again.
Cybercrime.
Let me call you again because it's not really. Let me call you again. Okay, wait a moment. Wait a moment, please.
Can you hear
Yes.
me?
Yeah.
Okay. I.
The risk of
You know the high tech.
cybercrime.
Do you know? Do you know the high tech criminal?
Of
Criminal.
course, of course.
High tech
High-tech crime and
criminal.
high-tech criminals. Of course, of course.
High tech
Yeah.
criminal. High tech criminal.
High-tech.
So, for example, and now in the Vietnam government have to get a lot of high tech criminal. So a lot of uh, they can control your phone.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they know your have a lot of account bank.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah. High tech criminal.
No, criminal is someone who commits a crime. So, for example, a thief is criminal, but crime is the action. So,
Criminal.
high tech crime. For example, hacking,
High,
identity
high
theft.
tech.
Yes.
High tech
For
crime.
example, hacking, identity theft, scams, they are high-tech crimes. They are high-tech. Yeah, of course.
Right.
They can easily hack your computer and they steal your information, easily use their information to, for example, I don't know, to do some, maybe to commit some crime, so we don't know. So identity theft, they use your identity. Scams, they are high-tech crimes. And of course, actually using digital payments can increase the risk of cybercrimes, especially identity theft, especially in hacking. So, of course, yes. But, and another, using digital payments, okay, can lead
using digital
to
payment.
overspend too much because
I know.
yes,
It's mean very good.
yes,
Very
of
good.
course.
Yeah. So when you use the digital payment, can you control the overspend?
Of course.
So I share my expenses with my staff. Oh, you should have a two account bank. One account bank you receive from salary and benefits, and one account bank you use for spend.
Of course.
When you use the spend, for example, today on a weekend, oh, you share $100 to under the spend account bank. Yeah,
Of course.
you use, and then after that, and you use the credit card. Credit card, if you are big box, the bank for you on the $10,000.
Of course.
$10,000, you can buy anything.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
But you don't control.
Yeah, you have.
You cannot control, and you overspend.
Of course.
Yo, very racist.
Definitely.
And
Yes.
on the 1 month, you can pay a lot of bill.
Of course.
You not
Of course.
control.
So yes.
On a woman, so the same.
Yeah, of course. So it's like, of course, it's like, for example, when you transfer, from one account to another. So you transfer, of course, transfer money,
Yeah.
transfer money from one account. Okay.
Transfer.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
To
Very good idea.
another,
You
of
transfer
course, to
money
another
from
bank
another.
account. Yeah, of course. You use your credit card. And of course, if you've got a big credit limit like 10,000 bucks, you can buy pretty much anything. So, if you've got a big credit limit, for example, like, I don't know, can be 10,000. Yeah, you can buy pretty much everything, just, anything. So easily, because this is you. Of course, you can, but let me put it here. And what is that? That's great, but until you lose control, you have no control and start overspending. You start
Yeah,
overspending. Yes. Actually,
very good. Very
that's
good.
where the trouble begins. Yeah.
Now you use the rule. Now you use the
Of
rule.
course. So it's like that's the trouble. So you know that you have credit limit, the maximum amount. So what is credit limit? The maximum amount you are allowed to borrow on your credit card. And
Yeah, I
yes,
know.
pretty much
Yeah,
means almost completely. And you lose control. You have no control and start overspending. So it's dangerous. So, and oh, what happened? Oh, hello. Oh,
yeah,
it's
I can
okay
hear.
because I couldn't see you. Okay, and you. Oh, I don't like this app. I don't like
I
Teams.
know.
It's not good. Okay.
Sometimes I can hear.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't. I
I
cannot
know.
hear.
It's so, I don't know. I don't like, this is not really user-friendly app. I don't like Teams. I hate it.
Now it's Wi-Fi very strong.
No, it's not about
Now it's
Wi-Fi. It's about Teams. Teams is not good.
team.
Teams is not good
Team is
app.
not good.
Really is not good app. I don't like it.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay, the topic is very good. The
Of
topic
course.
very good. And then,
What?
yeah, when you use the borrow, if you a big boss, if you are if you are the rich woman, you can borrow from a bank. If you use the credit card, you can borrow a bank the best limited very high, very high. For example, it's me. I can borrow from bank. Uh, $20,000, $20,000, $20,000 for 1 month, and then if I have I check, but I use the credit card for the pay anything. I can use the triple gain. Sometimes I overspending.
Of course. Yeah, I know. It's normal actually. So
Yeah,
it
yeah,
happens. Unfortunately, when it comes to control, it's a little difficult. Let's talk about your answer. So of course, so you are a wealthy or rich person. Yeah. You are a wealthy
yeah.
person. Of course, you can borrow and well, of course with your credit card because actually the credit
Credit
limit
card.
is yeah, of course can be really high. So you can borrow up to just 20,000. That is good for
And
a
you?
month. Let's not to talk about it. I'm just forget
And
about
you?
it. I'm not. I'm not that much rich. Okay, so, but yeah,
No, different
of course,
because you are America. You are America. I think, for example, Citibank, you can borrow up on
it depends.
$30,000.
First, 30.
You,
So, why do you want to know? It's just, let's forget about it because, so let's forget about it. Let's not to talk about it. So, actually, so you want to know my credit limit? Yeah. So, why do you want to know? So, why do you want to know it?
I think, I think if you leave, if you have a good job,
Of course.
if you have a good
Of
job,
course.
you can borrow uh, over
Yeah.
the same salary or month.
Okay. So, that,
For example, for example, you have a salary, $10,000 one month.
yeah.
You can borrow, yeah, you can borrow the
It's
same.
not only about, no, let me say something. Actually, it depends. It depends on different things. So, first, it depends on your credit history. That is really important. Credit
Mm.
history and income, how much you earn every month. Okay? So, but
Yeah.
first it depends. For example, first you get a credit card in US, in my country. Your limits might be anywhere from, I don't know, just a few hundred or a few $1,000. So it's not okay. But if you build good credit, of course, that lit can go way up, so sometimes tens of thousands. So it depends. Okay. So it depends on how much you earn, how much, for example, what about your income. It depends on your history. So if you are good, okay, so that is really, if you have a good history, for example, credit history or no. For example, if you make around 20,000 bucks, $20,000, okay, a month, your credit can be like, just start off pretty modest, okay? Maybe a few hundred. So for 20,000, a few hundred. For a couple thousand, just, maybe a couple, I don't know, $1,000. So it depends. But if you keep
I'm
up, yeah.
sorry. I'm I'm sorry. I have to at a
Oh,
meeting on
of course. Let's go. We
2
will
p.m.
talk later. Okay. So we'll talk about,
I
I'm sorry.
okay.
Goodbye. So let's go.
Okay. I can. I want to learn from this evening. Okay. If you see.
This evening is fully packed, so sorry, but maybe
Okay.
another
Okay.
time. See you. But
Okay.
well, we will
See you
continue this
tomorrow.
topic. Yeah, we'll keep going with this topic. It's a good topic, so we talk about it again. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
goodbye. Have a good day.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.